I'm managing as best as I can with everything going on. I miss my dad like crazy and I'm still trying to figure out how to exist in a world where he doesn't. The grief still is so very heavy. I am still mourning my marriage as well. I don't regret leaving him, but it still hurts me deeply. However, I'm picking up the pieces and making my life whole without him. My mill, well, ex-mill now I guess. IDK still feels weird, and Angie helped me out so much. They've really allowed me to lean on them in these moments. Whether it be taking the kids for a little while or cooking dinner for us when I don't have the energy. I truly am so lucky to have them. And finally, to what you all have been waiting to hear about, Jake. Jake is now back in California. He tried extending his leave but the military said no. It was truly wonderful having him there and helping me. In the first few days after my dad's passing, he picked up so much slack for me that I will truly never be able to repay him for it. He is so patient and kind. That being said, nothing has happened between us. Though he did hold me while I broke down after the kids went to bed quite a few times. But that's the extent of it. No kissing or anything like that. He does call me and text me multiple times a day. Right now I just don't have any room in my life for romance. I have so much grief and the weight of being a single mom has been heavy. He hasn't pushed me on it either. He let me know that he meant every word he said and that he's willing to just be my friend until I decide I want more, if I ever decide I want more with him. I wish I could be the girl that jumps in with both feet, but the betrayal from my ex is still fresh and I'm worried I would burn anything out before it started. So I asked for friends and time to process everything else in my life before I even consider processing a new relationship. He happily agreed. Oh, and Tyler and Jess are not a couple. Most of you were right, he left her high and dry. Though I don't wish misery on anyone, I'd be lying if I didn't say I get the smallest amount of satisfaction that her life went up in smoke. She's been blacklisted from her family. And I know a lot of you said it's weird that her parents did that, but if you guys knew just how deep my bond went with that family, it wouldn't seem weird at all. Angie is like my surrogate mom. She gave me the safe sex talk, the period talk. She listened to me cry about the boys who broke my heart. She held my hand while I delivered my kids. When she talks about me, she calls me her daughter. She knew my mom for practically her whole life. She held my mom's hand when she delivered me, and if anything had happened to both of my parents, she is who I would have gone to live with. My parents had that in their will. So with all of that being said, please just be kind to me in the comments. I put this off for a few days because of how hostile some people were, and the prospect of being called a liar doesn't sound too appealing at the moment. Again, I can't thank you for the amount of light and love I've received from you. I promise I read every comment and message, I just haven't had the capacity to respond. You have really helped brighten my days with all of your words of encouragement. I appreciate you all. I am so lucky to have an army of internet friends. You guys are the best. Less than 3. This is it for now. I probably won't post anything else for a while. I'm still trying to find my footing and I'm trying to get settled in a new routine before I bring a brand new baby in the world. I may come back to this, but I may not. Though I do promise I'll update if anything happens with Jake and I. Lol. I know so many of you became invested. P.S. Please excuse any typos. Pregnancy insomnia is kicking my ass right now. August 23, 2023. 1 month later from the last update. Just wanted to come back for a small update. Smiley face. Baby is here. He was born slightly premature, but no NICU stay was needed. He was 5 pounds 9 ounces and 19 inches and absolutely beautiful. Angie was in the room with me when I had him while Mills stayed with the other littles. My older two are obsessed with their baby brother and it makes my heart happy. Mill and Angie are taking turns spending the night and days with me for the first 6 weeks until we get acclimated. I told them they didn't have to, but they insisted. Honestly, I'm grateful for it. I can feel the waves of PPD trying to drag me under, and my mental health really hasn't been doing so good. Don't worry, my therapist knows and we're working through it. Knowing that this baby never gets to know and feel the love of my dad has really been hurting, and the fact that this is the only grandbaby he didn't get to meet. I miss him like crazy and wish he was still here. Jake was planning on staying in for another 2 years to retire, but they offered him early retirement. Not because anything going on with me or this whole situation. There was a situation at work. He didn't do anything wrong. Lol. So within the next 6 months he'll be moving back home. He's going to try house hunting and find a place before he comes home, but since he isn't allowed to take any leave during this time to view places since he has to work on his exit stuff, there's a chance he'll be temporarily living with me until he finds a place. No, he isn't moving in permanently, lol. He might even just get an apartment for a year and then buy a house. There's also some drama with Tyler already because he's pissed I wouldn't let him in the room when I had baby. So if you want any more updates on that front, I'll provide when I'm not overwhelmed. Love you all. Thank you all for being my ear when I need to vent and get everything off my chest. I hope all of your days are wonderful today and everything goes your way. Until next time, friends. Less than 3. October 14th, 2023, 2.5 months later. Answers to a few common questions and a small update. Less than 3. Hey everyone, I can't believe it's been almost 2 months since I last updated you all. I've missed chatting, but life has been keeping me very busy. Does Tyler's parents still talk to him? No. My mill cut him off almost instantly and went no contact. Phil is very low contact and only speaking with him when he takes the kids to their supervised visits to see him. Did Tyler cheat on you with more than just Jess? To my knowledge, there was only one other girl, which if you click on my comments and scroll a little, you'll see me briefly explain the situation. If there are any more than that, it's not to my knowledge, and I honestly think I'd prefer to not know. Aren't you concerned about Jake and Jess being in contact with one another still? They are siblings after all. Jake and Jess never had a good relationship. They were very, very low contact before any of this came out. They never got along as kids and the relationship never changed as they got older. Looking back on it, it was a major red flag how she treated him. They only ever spoke as adults as family functions, and even that was brief and only surface-level conversations. What all are you telling your children? You should let them process how they need to. The only one who is old enough to semi-understand what's happening is my oldest. I sat both of them down and simply said, Mommy and Daddy aren't together anymore. Daddy did some things that I wasn't okay with. That means Daddy won't live with us anymore, but you can still see him, spend time with him, and love him with all of your heart. It might be a little confusing and that's okay, but it's important to know that we both love you guys so much and that will never change. Then asked if they wanted to talk about it at all or if they had any questions about the situation. My oldest had a few and I answered in an honest but age-appropriate and gentle manner. They are still in therapy. They come to me if they want to talk about it, but if not, I don't push it on them. My goal in this has never been to weaponize and poison the kids against him, and it's something I will never do. He's their dad and I refuse to traumatize them any more than they have been. Do you have a Venmo, registry, P.O. box, etc.? I am warmed by your thoughtfulness and kindness. However, I cannot accept any of it. You are truly beautiful humans for being so willing to help me. However, I ask that you give those donations to your local shelters. I have a rather large inheritance and an amazing support system, but if I wasn't so fortunate, I could have very well been one of the girls who had to take refuge at a shelter. I've been making donations to shelters near me and my kids, and I have been volunteering at a few. On to the update, smiley face. So if you read any of my previous comments, you know that baby boy is here. Less than 3. He's honestly been the calmest newborn that I've ever managed. Hardly cries, is very content and happy all the time. He's been reaching all of his milestone markers, even hitting the ones that aren't on the preemie scale. It's been such a relief and a blessing. The older two completely adore him and are of course eating up the extra attention they get from their grandparents. Yes, Angie and her husband are called Grandma and Grandpa as well.